changing it. Does anybody have any questions in the intro? Almost do it. You can scroll on.
To your question, Corey, you're 100% right.
No, yeah, that's it.
I know we do tenant placement for a lot of clients. I got like 1,500 clients.
Yes.
And when they give me the address and I go look at the property, I just call them back and be like, well, let me ask you a question, Corey. Why you buy this? You know what I'm saying? Because no one ever wants to live. But they want you to really get top $1,500.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
See, guys, Al was smart, right? He said, I'm going to do tenant placement, and that's it. I'm going to let Corey handle the other, other crap. So a few things I'm going to talk to you guys about today is consultation, tenant placement, property management, maintenance issues, and tenant turnover. We can skip to the next. I'm going to break them all down. You can pull that whole thing out. And I think that's it. All right, so consultation. So again, I really appreciate a lot of what Lola said because information and education is so important, guys. And you know, I got in this business not only to, you know, I was a young entrepreneur, I was really excited, but I really wanted to help people in a need that a lot of people just had no clue about, right? So from the door, what I really learned about being an investor is, like I said, is consultation, teaching people what areas are good, what the price points are, how much you can make on the property. That's extremely important because what happens is when we become an investor, we get super excited. Yes, investor, I'm gonna get these business cards and I'm gonna give them to everybody who goes to seminars. Yes, yes, I'm an investor. Yeah, that's right. Well, you buy this property and you don't know that this property is not gonna yield you anywhere close to the type of money that you think it's gonna yield. I get so many calls, guys, from people that say, hey man, I bought this property on the east side of Baltimore, I paid $90,000 for it, I put $50,000 in, and I need to get $1,600 for it. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen, right? They think that I'm Superman. I promise you I don't have any cape. I just can't do it, right? So what I try to do, and what anybody that you guys work with should do, is give you guys some sort of target market evaluation. Look, if you're looking in this area, this is what this area is gonna yield in rent. Period. I mean, you can't do better than that. You can probably give, oh, I can get Section 8. Yeah, Section 8's not going to do it either. Accurate rental prices and retail prices. Again, same deal. Running comps. Now, let me backtrack a little bit. Zillow comps are a lie. They will lie to you. Resident comps are a super lie. You want to get with the professional who understands the landscape of the area. An Al, a Jim, a seasoned investor, somebody who manages in the area. Don't think that just because this person said that you can get that in that area that you can, because chances are you can't. And if you buy a property predicated on what an agent, and I'm an agent, and so I can kind of talk about us, because I see agents do it all the time. If you buy a property that's predicated on what a greedy agent is telling you to purchase the property for, then you're gonna lose, right? So you wanna do your homework, you wanna understand what the rental comps are, the true rental comps are, you want to understand what the retail comps are, so at least when you buy the property, you have some idea of the type of cash flow you can make. Conditions of the property and renovation, extremely, extremely, extremely important. When you buy a property, guys, it doesn't matter if it's a turnkey or rental, do a walkthrough. Get familiar with the property. Understand what you're going to have to put your money in, because again, once you get stuck with that property, guess what? It's yours, right? So if you don't even do, it doesn't even have to be a full home inspection, right? If you want to, great, but at least get familiar with what's going on in the property, because let me tell you how much a furnace is going to cost you, right? You're going to come in the door paying $8,000 to $10,000, sometimes $15,000, depending on how many tons you got to put in that property. Well, there's your cash flow for the next 5 years. So now you basically, even if you get the rent on time, it's really not yours. You're just paying yourself back, right? So you really want to know what the conditions cost, the cost are, and then clients goals, cash flows. You really want to know. You know, what type of money you're looking to make a month. What I consider a decent cash flow is anywhere between $250 to $350 clean, right? That means after taxes, insurance, everything's paid off. You're making a clean $250, and $250 is really on the low end, but $300 to $350. How often do I see people not making that? A lot, right? And it's because they don't do, I think, and I don't remember who said it, they don't do their evaluation on the front. You make your money on the purchase. You got to know that if I buy this property for X amount of dollar, if I put in X amount of dollar, then I'm going to be able to make this money even if I buy them whole. Tenant placement, extremely, 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 extremely important. Al could probably speak way more about this because I'm pretty sure he's super, super duper better than what I am in this, but it's very important, guys. whether you do it yourself or you get a management company or a tenant placement firm to do it, you want to make sure that you're putting the right people in the property. Now, again, we're doing business with the people that's around us, right? I mean, people in that neighborhood. Don't think that because you buy a property in Baltimore City, you're going to have somebody from Anne Arundel County to come want to live in Baltimore City, especially in Baltimore City. Anybody who knows anything about Baltimore City is very territorial, right? It's very block by block. And people want to live in the area that they grew up in. Why? Because it's a comfort level. I know where the corner store is. I know where the supermarket is. I know where the gas station is. I know where my baby mama live at. Everybody, they know everything about everybody in the neighborhood, and it's a comfort zone, right? So you very rarely get people outside of that area. When we tenant place, we do a little bit of everything. These are the things that we use. We use MLS, Craigslist, signs out, social media. Now, social media is probably at this point, over the last, I would probably say 7 to 10 years, it's major. Why is that? Because anybody, especially in urban communities, because can anybody tell me why?
Look, everybody's on it.
Everybody is on it. Literally. Like my son's 13, I have to literally take his phone and threw it in the ocean because he tried to get on social media. I'm like, dude, you're 13. You kidding me? To be quite frank with you, social media has been the gap between not only urban communities but kids and technology. Right. Believe it or not. I mean, it's just proven fact. Before social media, people literally only use their phones to just call and goof off on it, but now everywhere you go, you see people walking around like this, and they doing like this, and taking selfies. It's huge. We have every bit of social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, we have it, because that's where we get the bulk of our people. So again, for those people that are looking to put it on, get a social media account, right? If you have your own, most of it's gonna come from your immediate circle, right? So social media is really important. I strongly suggest signs, they'll blow all over the place. People are taking right on. Yes, sir?
Top 3, if you had to pick them, gun to your head. That's extreme, but
social media, and top 3 social medias, or just social media?
What matters most to you? Where do you reach most of your people? Where are most people looking most eyes on?
Facebook, yes. Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
Craigslist, and then you want to put a sign up, right? You want to put a sign up because again, people are territorial. So most of the people in the neighborhood are going to rent from, that's in the neighborhood. So when they see a sign, oh girl, I see this property on such and such, man, I'll take a look at it. So that'll help you out. Those are the top 3. Glad you didn't put the gun on my head.
I wouldn't have.
Types of tenants. There's 2 types of tenants, right? You got market tenants. Anybody know what a market tenant is? Can anybody tell what a market tenant is?
Cash.
Nah.
I thought it was anybody other than subsidized. Is what I feel like. What I
so a market tenant is basically a typical tenant that's not a subsidized program.
Cash.
Well, they can pay with a check.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's not subsidized.
Well, okay, so same thing, cash, subsidized. Now, subsidized, it's a lot of different programs. What's the biggest program that everybody loves all over the world? Section 8. Let me tell you a little bit about Section 8. So Section 8's changed. When I started the business 15 years ago, you could almost get $2,000 for a 3-bedroom property, right? They've changed it tremendously. How am I lying about that? They've changed it tremendously. Well, I'll tell you why. The city and the state has lost a tremendous amount, in addition to the country, has lost a tremendous amount of money. Every single investor, the amount of investors has literally quadrupled in the last 10 to 15 years because everybody wants to be an investor, which is fine. But now everybody wants to use the same program. Well, if the government doesn't have a whole lot of programs to get, and then nobody wants to work anymore, right? So you go into houses and they have, that's a whole nother story. But they have everything, TVs and cars, but they want to be on Section 8. Well, what happened with the funding is, basically the government has burned their candle on both ends. So you have a whole lot of people who want to rent out properties in Section 8. You got way too many people that want to be on Section 8 and not enough money to support either or. So now they've got stricter with the prices and the price points and what they're going to give people because they basically want to make sure